As always, we'd like to say a big thank you to you for joining us here on Global Television. This is Global Morning. We're live in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Uyi Agmofwegbe. It's the second business day of the week, by the way, and we stay grateful as always. The ambassador of gratitude herself is on the show this morning. Yeah, she gives us all the reasons to be grateful, and every one of those reasons is as valid today as they will forever be. Jumai Manson.
So
I just gave you a new portfolio.
Oh my God.
You'll be briefed in the course of business today.
Okay. I hope it comes with a reward.
Well, can't we just talk about your role first?
Oh my goodness. Well, of course, the ambassador of
gratitude.
Of gratitude. Oh, you know, okay, to everyone out there, thank you so much. I feel honored. Thank you. How are you doing, Uyi? Good morning.
I'm great.
Well done. Well
good
done. It's good to see you. It's great to have you side by side co-hosting Global Morning.
Yeah, the pleasure is always mine, Jumai. And hopefully we are able to eventually get past the death of the young lady I talked about yesterday. Of course, all through yesterday we saw reactions. Of course, the hospital has reacted. Nigerians, as has always been the case, also have reacted.
Yes, they have.
Because we are our brother's keeper, no matter how much we try to fight ourselves sometimes.
Yeah, that's
true. And you could see the show of love, the outpouring of concern, from across board and all that. And when this is all said and done, it means we must now look at the systemic problems that we're all dealing with. And speaking of systemic problems, by the way, we're hearing now that governors across this country have received about 9 trillion naira from the federal allocation the last year. And now that has put some pressure on most of the governors to say, look, it's not enough for you to have increased allocations from the federal government, but show us workings.
Results.
Yeah, what are you doing with all of this money, whether it's in health, in infrastructure, in job creation? What are you doing for young people? Our universities, our polytechnics are churning out graduates every other academic cycle. What are we doing to give them some voice,
give back.
So they don't regret why they went to school in the first instance. So those governors now have to be more accountable. We've talked about how that it's not every issue must advance to the federal government.
No,
there are some things the governors must deal with.
Exactly.
And to whom much is given, much is expected.
True.
So if you're getting that amount of money, it means you must be able to show what you're doing. We've got a guest here one time who said, there's a governor, we don't want to mention him so it doesn't look like we're trying to compare, that, look, this governor, since he assumed office, has not borrowed. Not because he's the best governor, not because he's perfect, but he realizes that there's so much we can do with what we already have. You see, we can't have a system where nobody can talk to a governor, yet the governor was voted by the people, yet the governor is supposed to serve the people. So much so that it's painful that you can't if you like, reconcile what the governors get with the results that they are showing us.
And for me, this is a step in the right direction. It's going to show accountability and transparency when it comes to that money and the monies that was dispersed to these governors. And for me, it's the impact in which it's going to bring. We won't actually, youth who are done with school and then come out and tell you there are no jobs, there's going to be job creation. You have to put on your thinking caps, and those around you have to think along with you, because at the end of the day, you have to give account on how the money was dispersed, which is very important. And for me, this is a step in the right direction. It shows that we're moving, there is growth, and people are becoming awake now, and people are now becoming aware of what is going on as per their right and what is due to them. Now we all know it's that particular amount, 9 billion naira, and at the same time
9 trillion
naira, pardon me, and at the same time accountability, which is very important, and the impact in which you are going to make in your state. You must make an impact. So it's all about you putting that amount of money, which is huge, by the way, in your pocket. There's a lot that needs to be done, from skill acquisition, entrepreneurship programs, like we mentioned, job creation, health sector. All of these things are very important in order to build a state and make it more pronounced and productive for other people to look at and say, okay, fine, this governor is working. This is a step in the right direction, I must say.
It's gradually inching to 3 years since the Tinubu administration removed fuel subsidy.
Yes.
And then the question was, what do we do going forward? If you remove fuel subsidy, in what other ways would Nigerians benefit, from governments? And a few weeks down the line, government said, look, we have been saving, and we have saved X, Y, Z. At that point, just a month or two into the suspension of fuel subsidy payments, the federal government said at least 400 billion and counting had already been saved. And today we understand that runs into tens of trillions in terms of subsidy savings, right? Now, what the federal government did, which many people have commended, others say, well, the federal government should not have chose that path. But the question is, what should the federal government have done better? So the federal government says, what we are going to do with all of these savings is to, if you like, distribute or redistribute to all the 36 state governors, which now means that the governors have as much responsibility, if not even more, than the federal government.
Yes, they do.
Because before now, you complained that you didn't have enough allocation. You complained that you had suffered paucity of funds. You complained that your hands were tied. IGRO was dwindling.
Exactly.
Now, federal government says, okay, so it's simple. Let's bump up your monthly allocation. And for the month of December, what the federal government, states, and local government shared is almost 2 trillion, right? So, and that cycle happens every other month. Now, the call to action here is to say that citizens must become more aware. They must realize that the governor is not just an executive who has to live in the government house while every other person lives elsewhere.
Yes.
He's the governor who is supposed to be the chief servant. Of course, we once had
he has a mandate, of course.
Right. All right. So he's supposed to serve.
Yes.
But are the people aware enough to know when, where, and how to, if you like, hold these governors to account?
You know, it's a chain. It's a chain.
Right.
It's a chain, and it's a process. Like I told you before yesterday, I said Nigerians are becoming more aware. They now know that, okay, I have a right. I can actually speak up. I can actually lay my complaint. Like, there's a channel in which I would follow if I am aware that the system it's going to work and all of that.
Right.
But there is a chain. And like you mentioned before, it's not all the time. You know, anytime there's a breach somewhere, we always say, oh, the president. We always refer to them. Now there is a chain. So we all forget about the governors. We all forget about the governors and know that they have a role to play in this particular aspect when it comes to benefits, when it comes to basic amenities in that particular state that will benefit you and I. So it's a chain now. But the thing is, a lot of awareness needs to be done. People actually have to know their right. They have to know that there is a pattern and there is a chain that you must follow to inquire and get that information that you need. You are a Nigerian first. And it's very important that you understand that this actually concerns you. It's not a matter of folding your hands and saying, it doesn't concern me, let's leave it for them. No, don't leave it for them. It's all of us. We need to benefit from from what the state has to give or what the state has to offer. It's your right, it's your entitlement. So at least that awareness needs to be done for individuals to understand that, hey, this is actually my right. I have every right to be part and parcel of this.
Of course. Well, we'll be turning away from that for a second because we also need to talk about politics, especially as it has to do with internal politicking. In this regard, the PDP, that is the People's Democratic Party, comes to mind. We've seen how much of depletion has happened to that party for well over 1 year now, especially arising from the 2023 election, the circumstances before, during, and after that cycle of polls. Today, we understand there are factions to the PDP. There's the Wike-led faction. Of course, there's the Turaki-led faction. Just a few days ago, a court had now declared the convention that was held in Ibadan, of course, courtesy of the Turaki-led faction, with support from governors like Seyi Makinde for your state and Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State, has now been declared null, void, invalid, and of no consequence whatsoever. So all of the time, money, and energy plunged into that idea or initiative have now come to waste. But the thing is, as it stands right now, the Wike faction appears to hold the aces. But here's the problem. For a party that wants to go into the 2027 general election as a formidable opposition party, what chance does the People's Democratic Party stand? Our guest this morning himself, a long-standing member of the party, will help us find the perspectives as well as a bit of historical background to what exactly the once upon a time ruling party is now grappling with. All of that and more on the program today. Please stay with us. Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all. From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning.
For the latest issues,
Always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
We're now hearing that the United States will be deporting 79 Nigerians on criminal lists. Joe, this is not the first time that we hear a country deporting Nigerians for whatever reasons.
Yes.
And for some people, beyond whether these Nigerians had been alleged to have committed or found in the eye of the law to have committed any criminal act or offense, there are those who believe that the Trump administration has policies that are not Africa-friendly, and incidentally, Nigeria is caught in the web.
Yes, we are caught in the web. We're in this together. It's just unfortunate, but at the same time, for as much as it's very hurtful, a lot of Nigerians who have decided to turn a new leaf in America, they've decided to do right by themselves, and this particular issue that is ongoing, it's very sad to see, but you know, countries have policies and they need to be followed. Everyone has different vision when it comes to administration. Everyone has different policies when they're in leadership. So it has to be followed, basically. It might not be friendly. Yes, I understand all of that. But at the same time, this is his vision. This is what he foresees. And this is what he wants to achieve. So when another leader comes in, another vision, another achievement, it's all like that. So we should understand that it will not favor everyone. It might favor some, it will not. And unfortunately, Nigeria has is just on that bucket list.
One of the things I've always heard the Nigerian Diaspora Commission, led by Abike Dabiri, talk about time and again is to say that when you are in a country, you must understand that your host country has a set of laws.
Yes, it does.
All right, so you can't be above those laws.
No, you
all right,
cannot.
so you must leave, keeping in mind that those laws will have to guide your actions, your choices, and your decisions. But most times, for whatever reason, it appears these citizens don't understand that you can't just get away with certain things, especially in advanced societies.
Exactly.
Where things work better, where, for example, your chances of getting away with crime are extremely slim. But then again, you're also concerned about the image challenge, how this rubs off on our image as a country.
Yes, it does.
All right, because at the end of the day, what it does is to say these 79 Nigerians, not knowing that not every Nigerian falls in that within that bracket.
That's true. And then I think some persons, when they travel abroad, they forget that other countries have a system, and our system might not really work. It might be porous because you can actually get away with crime. There's no serious investigation that will act. Some people have committed crimes and they are walking freely on the roadside. You'll be surprised. But at the same time, we forget that when we are abroad, we feel okay because they say their law favors this gender or this gender, I can do what I want. But no, it doesn't work that way. There's a law, there's a pattern you need to follow. It's very important. And sometimes we forget that, and we just feel, since we're abroad, nothing can happen. Oh my goodness, something can happen. These individuals take it very seriously, especially when you commit a simple offense that you can get away with, like traffic light, for instance. How many police officers will stop you and give you a ticket in Nigeria? Are you kidding me? But in America, it's taken very seriously. So I think we need to understand that. And I'm glad that Abike Dabiri has made it clear that, hey, there are laws and there are systems that you must abide and follow once you're in another country. Once you're in another place, you should behave yourself, comport yourself in a manner that is worthy, not just for you, but for the country whom you represent. Very important. But because we already have a mindset, we already feel Nigeria is nothing to write home about. What's happening? You ask someone, what is the way forward? What's next? You know, the negativity that is attached to it. So you just feel I can just do whatever I want, get away with it, and that's it. But it's different, and you should understand that it will definitely rub back on the country in whom you're from.
It always does. You know, the Nigerian authorities, especially the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, time and again has said, we have a responsibility. In fact, it's part of our remit, statutory, if you like, mandates to protect Nigerians wherever they may be in the world.
Yes.
However, if you run a roughshod, if you contravene the laws of the country hosting you, it is a different kettle of fish altogether.
Yes,
You've got to be responsible for your actions, right? But what more can we say? Juma's point is clear. You may be abroad, but you're not above.
Exactly.
Right.
What's happening, Uyi? What's all this?
Maybe
today?
my creative juice is flowing this morning.
Yes, it is. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. All right, we'll take a quick break, everyone. Now, time to bring you some motivation, and Ramsey Enoch Agbo is standing by with Inspirational.
Well, my name is Ramsey Enoch, and it's good to have you join us today on Heart to Heart Inspirationals. And let's get you inspired because we value you. You are very important. You mean so much to this generation. Do you know why? Because if anything happens to you on this journey of destiny, it means something has gone wrong with a generation because you are a potential destiny helper. But then, what step are you taking? All right? Where are you? What are you doing? My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Small steps still move forward. We love big breakthrough. A lot of people want to be big men overnight. They just wake up overnight and they want to be big men, not knowing what it takes to be a big man, to be a big woman. Breakthroughs are things that we are supposed to enjoy, but then, does it just fall from heaven? No. One thing we need to understand is that there are things we need to do to really be successful in life. How much work are you putting into yourself? We need to know that life has so much for us. The truth is this: we love big breakthrough, yeah, that's true, but we underestimate small obedience. Small obedience. And that's the reason you see a lot of people make resolutions and they don't keep to it. You see a lot of people do their to-do list for the day and they are not keeping it. Discipline and obedience to small things. You know, little foxes that destroy the vine. You may think those things are small, they don't matter. But then it makes you accelerate. It makes you move forward in life. We celebrate overnight success, but ignore daily discipline. How many people are disciplined today? Even CEOs, they are not disciplined today. A lot of people are not disciplined today. Business owners are not disciplined today. A lot of people have eaten their capitals. Yes, a lot of people. I know of people who ate their capitals. Some even went into debt. These are people that were making millions. I know. I'm not talking abstract. These are people that I know. Where are they today? What happened? Discipline. I've even walked to someone before to say, hey, come on. Do you know what? I know it's your business. I know it's your company. I know you are in charge. But then, instead of just putting your hand into the business money and taking out of it every day, place yourself on salary. Be a salary earner. Let the business pay you. Oversee it. Let it pay you. You don't just wake up without discipline. Oh, you have a need. Bam. Accountant. Yes, sign this check. No. It's not done. Discipline is very important. If you want to be successful in life, if you want to make progress in life, discipline is very important. Not just discipline alone. Obedience and discipline go hand in hand. All right. You need to be obedient. All right. And you need to be disciplined. Yet, I want to let you know that nothing great happens suddenly. It happens consistently. Consistency is key. Whatever you're doing. Okay, let me give you an instance. Why do you think anywhere you go to look for a job, whatever you want to do, people look for someone who have experience? Because the more consistent you are on a particular thing, the more professional you become. But a lot of people, because of the issue of diversification, multiple source of income and all of that, these theories have made a lot of people not to concentrate on a particular thing, not to be consistent in doing one thing and become a professional in it. A lot of people are slaving today because they were not consistent in what they were doing. A lot of people are not employable today because of inconsistency, disobedience, and indiscipline. Three major issues: indiscipline, disobedience, and inconsistency. These are thieves of time. Progress, like they said, is not always loud. It's not loud. Sometimes it looks like getting up again. Sometimes it looks like staying committed, all right, when nobody is clapping. A lot of people. That's why, initially I talked about on Heart to Heart, before I've talked about social media. Everybody want to be clapped for these days. Everybody is going on social media to live a fake life because they want to be clapped for. Of what profit is it? It's deception. You're deceiving yourself. I only pity people who copy this online so-called designed people who design themselves to be what they are not. People must not clap for you all the time. Don't wait for the clapping. Don't wait for people to clap for you. Sometimes when walking towards your successful days may not require people clapping for you, or sometimes growth feels boring because when it gets, people don't like work. That's the truth. A lot of people don't like work. So sometimes when you're walking, it looks boring. When you are striving to be successful in life, sometimes it looks boring because it's just like you're driving on the road and it's only you on that road. You're going, no car is coming from behind, no one is overtaking you. You're just going, only you. Sometimes it looks boring. But boring is where mastery is built. Do not despise small beginnings. Small steps compounds. Small habits accumulate, and of course, small disciplines create massive outcome. Just be consistent in it. Every expert you see today was once a beginner who refused to stop. Because so many things happen to stop them. When you're starting a business from the scratch, it is very difficult. If you are not consistent, disciplined, and obedient, you run away. Yes, of course. That period, that growing, that incubation period, if you're not careful, you run away. A lot of people have run away from businesses like that. Then when other people start doing it, and during that boring moment, that lonely moment, then when they come out successful, they say, well, why did I even leave that business? Because you were not consistent, disciplined, and of course obedient to the rules of the game. Success have a rule. It has a rule. Yes, you need to abide by the rules of the game before you become successful. Breakthrough don't just happen overnight. That kind of breakthrough that you're looking for doesn't last. Yes, a dribbling tap can fill a bucket over time. Don't you know? Provided there is consistency, it's dripping. Pim, pim. All right, let me give an instance. For instance, you get to the hospital and they give someone drip, all right? There is drip on a patient in the hospital. You see the way it drops, pim, pim, pim. It will appear as if it's never going to get finished. But just give it a time. That drip will finish. Everything will finish into the patient's body. But it's dripping. It takes patience, all right? Not because the drops are big, but because they are consistent. It's dropping. Because of the consistency. Whatever you're doing, please ensure to be consistent if you really want to make it, if you really want to succeed. Focus on the progress, not the perfection. Celebrate effort, not just outcomes. Show up when motivation is low. You might not see. Let me tell you something. A lot of people don't celebrate upcomings. That period where you are struggling to be successful, when you're struggling to grow. A lot of people just look at the ignore. Some will not even take you serious. And that's why you need to be careful the kind of relationship you keep. I pity for people who push aside people that were with them when they were in their incubation period, when they were trying to become successful in life, the people that encourage them. Somebody may not even give you all the money, but the encouragement coming is enough. Consistency turns into ordinary actions into extraordinary results. Yes, by the time you're consistent, it turns ordinary action into extraordinary results. All right, keep going. Small steps taken daily will carry you further than big intentions that was never acted upon. A lot of people have big dreams, but they never acted on it. Where are they today? They are nowhere to be found. Well, you need to dream big and you need to act on the big dream, no matter how small, on a daily basis. Be consistent, be obedient, and of course, what else? Be faithful to whatever it is you're doing. Many thanks. I'll come on your way again. My name is Ramsey Enoch. Bye-bye for now.
All right, you're welcome back. And if you're just tuning in, this is Global Morning on Global Television. And that was inspirational by Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Hope you were well inspired. And now at about this point is a newspaper review segment. And we're going to start with the first paper of the day, and it's the Vanguard newspaper. Above the nameplate of the Vanguard newspaper, it says Nigeria loses $777.7 billion to illicit financial flows in 10 years. And that's on report on page 19. Below all of that, it says 2027, APC moves to exploit opposition's disunity. And that's on page 4 on the Vanguard. And on page 9, it says here, the Zani spent €140,000 on furniture, others. Okay. Are you kidding me?
That's a lot to spend on furniture.
That's a lot to spend on furniture. That's on page 9 on the Vanguard. And on page 7, it says, outrage as Nigerian music superstars face disappointment again at 68 Grammy Awards. Well, it's not win-win. It's the most important thing is what you have done and the value and
the impact you continue to make.
Exactly.
There are people making impact in areas we can never imagine.
Exactly.
Yet they've never come 1,000 foot opposed to the Grammys.
Exactly.
Grammys are great, yes, but it shouldn't now become a symbol of validation of the difference you're making.
Exactly. It should never be a symbol of validation of the impact in which you're making. Davido and, of course, Burna Boy is one of, we have great music icons in Nigeria, and they're really making waves impact. So
with or without the Grammys.
With or without the Grammys. Right. So the thing is the value in which you imbibe in others. That's what counts. Now, below the nameplate of the Vanguard newspaper, it says, Onitsha market lockdown, 10,000 shops marked for demolition. And of course, the writer says, well, we have open market, but nobody is coming to buy from us. That's from the traders, and market leaders hail traders. And that's on page 11. Now, the star story on the Vanguard reads, state governments now to share payment of electricity subsidy. And that's from the federal government on page 5. And we have about 5 riders, and it reads, we're reviewing situation, and that's from NGF, SERC, funding to come from PCAF. That's from the source. A state should pay subsidy as active partners, okay? CPPA, big fiscal political shift, Professor Iledari, and it says here, experts cast doubt over FG's power to make states pay electricity subsidies. Well, is that a step in the right direction, Way?
Well, you see, most times you're wondering what the factors are that inform these policy positions,
exactly.
Right? Are they just political statements? Are they motivated by the desire to score a political point? Or are they driven by the ambition that's associated with 2027? But again, electricity is not a political element. It's a service that
it's
people
a
have
service,
to enjoy.
exactly.
Right, so it goes far beyond politics.
It does. And on page 8 on the Vanguard, it says, Makoko protest. Police use expired targets on protesters. And that's from Falana. And of course, that's not good at all. And on page 6, it says, Malami challenges EFCC, asks court to set aside interim forfeiture order on property. And basically, that is it on the Vanguard newspaper. Going to get yourself a copy and be well abreast with the issues making rounds. Next, we have the Daily Monitor. Over to you now, Uyi.
And above the name masts of the Daily Monitor, it says FG states local governments share 1.969 trillion naira in December 2025 revenue. The headline has got a picture of the Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun. Below the nameplates, we have 4 headlines there. Top right says, Yelwata massacre, court remands 9 suspected terrorists. That was the massacre that took over 200 lives last year in Yelwata, a town in Benue State, and it became a global conversation at that time. Those details are on page 2 for you. Food prices ease in November 2025. That's according to the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS. Malami challenges EFCC, asks court to set aside interim forfeiture order on property. Airlines get 90 days as 5% ticket sales charge enforcement draws near, on page 12. And that takes us to the Star headline. Tinubu orders ministries, departments, and agencies to disclose electricity subsidy costs in 2026 budget. 2 riders, that's a matter of transparency, by the way. 2 riders, once burden of electricity subsidies shared so that no tier of government is left carrying hidden unpaid cost. Exactly, we should all put our cards on the table. Says subsidy costs must be explicit, tracked, funded, so they do not return as arrears, liquidity crisis, or hidden liabilities. Yes, the president wants to get one step ahead of those who may have some ulterior motive up their sleeves. All right, money matter, as they say. A court bars NLC, TUC from embarking on protests against Wike. FCCA orders security agencies to ensure there is no breakdown of law and order. You know, the NLC and TUC were actually planning a protest against Minister of Federal Capital Territory.
Yes, of course.
And the Federal Capital Territory Administration. This time not a strike like we had seen the other time, but just basically a peaceful protest. But the court now says, no, you can't do that, all right? You've got to sit, do your job. And it's also ordered security agencies to ensure that there's no breakdown of law and order. Incidentally, those are your headlines from the Daily Monitor today. Do yourself a favor, read up details. All right, next is the Daily Courier.
All right, now the Daily Courier, and below the nameplate it says petrol, cooking gas prices fall year on year in December. And it says court restrains NLC, TUC, 3 others from embarking on strike protest. And the writer says police urge NLC to shift FCT protests over security concerns. Well, for as much as it's hard, but I think that's reasonable enough because security is key, and of course the insecurity in Abuja is a bit high now. And
the challenge that poses is, how do you not draw, if you like, a balance or strike a balance between
miscreants,
Jumai's rights to protest as a law-abiding citizen and the fear that some criminal elements may want to hijack the process?
Exactly. That's why
quite delicate.
It's and very dicey, and that is why we have to really be sure of what we're embarking on, so we will not cause major issues in the FCT, Federal Capital Territory. So for as much as it's reasonable to, it's hard because it's just unpaid salaries. They want their monies and all of that. But at the same time, insecurity, we have to be very cautious. And
I'm just curious, Juma. I'm not yet a lawyer. Yes, I said I'm not yet a lawyer.
But
I follow the law. I follow lawyers.
Yes, you do. Scale of justice. Let me promote that.
Thank you. So I'm wondering, is it not possible for the courts, I mean, talking as a layman that I am today, for the court to say, look, you can protest because it's your inalienable right to do that, all right? However, the security agencies, especially the police, must take responsibility for providing security for these protesters for as long as they stay within the ambit of the law.
Exactly.
However, for those who may want to foment trouble or exploit the protest to commit any heinous acts, they will be dealt with according to the law as well. I think we can rethink, I'm just saying, we can rethink this process so that while we're trying to ensure things don't spiral out of control, we do not now deny or strip people of their rights to basics like protest.
Yes, protest.
All right.
It's a civic right.
Exactly. And I've seen situations, just before you jump in, I've seen situations where some people in a certain city said, look, we are not enjoying what we are paying for in terms of power supply.
True.
And they had to go picket the offices of the distribution company, the service provider, at that point in time. And they did it peacefully over a number of days, and it made the news every other evening. I think we need to realize this. It's 2026. There are things we cannot just gloss over and say, well, we don't want trouble, so people cannot decide what to eat. Because if we're not careful, it might get to a point where somebody can say, well, because we don't want somebody to get angry, you have to eat a certain kind of meal or something. Because protests, I mean, you can't talk about the TUC, you can't talk about the NLC, and not talk about protests.
Yes.
So if these guys say, for XYZ reasons, we want to protest, yes, we are concerned about the security issues. Most times, we have seen cases where these protests have been hijacked. But can we also allow them enjoy their rights?
Exactly.
Peaceful demonstration.
And then to even just put a little bit of what you've just said, and there should be a particular place that if it's going to be,
if you want to restrict
if you want to, yes, you are restricted to this particular park.
Right.
Make your rights known, but anyone outside that particular park, you are on your own, you'll be apprehended, you'll be tagged as a criminal element and a threat to the FCT. So that makes a lot of sense. That's why I said, as much as insecurity, security is a major issue in the FCT, because we know what happens. People, this is an avenue for individuals to come out, loot, larceny, and all of that. So we have to be very careful. But at the same time, protest is a civil right. It is your right and mine. If what is happening in a particular state, it's not going down with the people. And like value for money when it comes to electricity tariff, for instance, and that we see what is making rounds. So it's very important that we understand all of that. But at the same time, security is very important. I think we need to get that aspect right, and then we can proceed. I think it will make a lot of sense.
It does.
All right, let's move on now, still on the Daily Courier. And below all of that, it says, ex-APC National Chairman Odigwe Oyegun chairs ADC's Manifesto Committee. And that's on page 4. And on page 16, it says, EFCC arrests 10 suspects, impounds 9 truck drivers. 9 trucks over suspected illegal mining in Kwara. Okay. And on page 8 on the Daily Courier, it says FG signs MOU with 6 professional bodies to train 10 million Nigerians. Okay. And on page 13, it says Trump to slash U.S. tariffs on India from 50% to 18%. Okay. What's going on? Okay. Now let's move on to page 22. It says Coventry City sign Onyeka on loan from Brentford. And basically that is it on the Daily Courier. Please go out and get yourself a copy. I'm well abreast with issues making rounds. Next is The Guardian.
All right. We'll begin with this one, top left corner, with a picture of Peter Obi. I'll be running for president in 2027. Obi confirms. Again, you know, there have been talks about will he want to, if you like, buy into or accept a concession to say, look, why don't you just run as, join the ticket as a running mate, as against the ambition to become the presidential candidate of the ADC. But the man has said, look, let's be clear, going forward, I've got to be the presidential candidate.
Exactly.
Maybe that's what's, fueling this speculation that Abubakar Atiku, former vice president of Nigeria, might be considering moving to the ADP, seeing that with Obi and Kwankwaso, the former governor of Kano State, now said or alleged to be teaming up, his chances in the ADC might be slim. Somebody asked me a question. If Atiku were to leave the ADC for the ADP, what happens to David Mark? Because David Mark is the chairman as it stands right now of the ADC. And David Mark and Atiku, they are more like political brothers. Are you saying David Mark will also go with him to the ADP, or David Mark will remain in the ADC? These are all of part of the calculus to say that, but in all, politicians know how to get around these issues.
Of course, like you said, politicians will always be politicians,
right,
and they always have a way to, I don't say get it right, people wiggle around because they know their onions.
Right.
So we that's why people get over sentimental when it comes to issues of politicians and all. Please don't, because they know where they, like someone says, they know where they sit down, have their drink, and they talk about issues and allow you Nigerians to
just bother yourself
about it. But the most important thing is let the needful be done. Let the most important thing be done. And hey, everyone has aspirations. Everyone has ambitions. So if he feels he wants to be presidential candidate, then I think the right thing to do, the speculations could be on point. And let's just see how well this plays out, basically.
Right. Okay, so let's return to the headlines on the Guardian newspaper for you. Court restrains NLC, TUC, others from strike protest. President directs MDAs to disclose electricity subsidy pay bills. Yes, we've got to share this. We can't be doing this all by ourselves.
Exactly.
Excuse me. All right, let's look at a big one for you. It says party politics by court orders hurts internal democracy, opposition. That's on page 6. Court remands suspects of Benue killings in Kuje prison. Did I hear you say we're just getting started?
Just getting started.
All right. NBA advocates time frame for resolving legal disputes. Kuka, Nigerians must unite to end killings of Christians, Muslims. Again, this is beyond religion. It's about citizens and the fact that life is sacrosanct. All right. 2027, Saraki rejects APC overture to Fintri as ruling party intensifies recruitment. So the APC is hiring. That's what it means. All right. Soludo visits Onitsha main market as residents observe sit at home. But we understand that the traders are coming back in trickles into the market, but it's now appearing to be a fight between the state government and the proscribed group, the indigenous people of Biafra, because we understand they are the ones behind this sit at home order across all the 5 states. But it appears the government now is not leaving anything to chance.
No, he's not. And at the same time, this is just, it's going to be, it's not an immediate response that you will get. Of course, individuals will be afraid to go to the market to actually go and buy from these traders who have actually opened up their shop, but some did not, and I hear that they'll be marked for demolition. From some of the shops that didn't actually open and didn't follow the order of the governor. But at the same time, I think this is a process. You should understand that individuals are scared. This has lingered for a long time.
It's not a matter of life and death.
It's not a matter of life and death. And we've seen what these indigenous groups have done in the past, how they are suicidal, I would say. I have watched on videos how they have actually taken down military trucks. They have shot, like they are well equipped. So it's a process, and he has to take it easy on the people of Anambra State. Really, it's going to be a very slow process. But I'm glad his foot is put down on this matter. But he should understand that it is a gradual process, especially for the people of Anambra State. It's going to take a lot of reawakening, reawareness, understanding that, hey, calm down, no fears and all of that. But it's a very slow and gradual process, and he has
I'm trying hard not to get emotional, Juma, when I'm talking, because quite frankly, I mean, you made a point now.
I'm very
this song has been on for years.
It has lingered.
So you can't just come overnight and think with one pronouncement as the governor.
No.
So what systemic measures are you taking?
Exactly.
What's the strategy?
Because they have been governors, and you have been, and you have seen the assassination that these individuals have done. They have killed individuals, right?
Governor Soludo's efforts.
Are you kidding me?
And by what strategy is he driving the process?
Do you know what that scenario, when I saw that video clip, it still plays, like I close my eyes, I can still see how that man was struggling for his life, and people were there. What can you do? And these individuals just walk on the streets. Have you apprehended this? Have you there are a lot of things that need to be done before you come out and make such statements. And you think the people do you think they are non-entities that they will come out?
So you're making them choose between their lives and their shops. Apparently that's what's happening.
They don't even care. The shops can go. Their lives are more important. They have families. These are breadwinners. These are mothers. These are if it's one day to close up their shop for an individual to be alive, of course they will take staying at home. Life, are you kidding me? Life first. So this is going to be a very slow and gradual process. He has to understand that, because these individuals have lived with sit at home for a very long time. It's now a norm that, hey, Mondays there's no market.
You hardly can even travel.
Are you kidding?
I've had a colleague here, for example, who was supposed to return to work on a given day, but he couldn't because he got trapped. He missed his flight.
Yes, he did. I know that colleague.
So at the end of the day, that's just one out of hundreds of thousands of people who have to suffer.
So it's not a snap of a finger and people will start coming out to know. No. It's going to take time. There are measures.
It's a process.
Serious measures have to be put in place, because these guys are not joking.
The governor just might have to rethink this process.
Please,
Hopefully
he has to.
The right
he really has to.
Let's go wrap it up on The Guardian now. Just one more headline to go. Bottom right, with a picture of former Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo. It says Nigeria paying heavy price for underfunding education sector, says Osinbajo. That goes without saying. We're paying a very heavy price for either not funding at all or pathetically underfunding our education sector. All right. Well, those are your headlines from The Guardian newspaper today. Read up details as we move on to the New Telegraph newspaper.
All right, now the New Telegraph newspaper, and on page 3 it says here, FAAC-FG states local government areas shared 1.96 trillion naira in December. And the Star story reads 2027, okay? And it says here, Why I Won't Quit PDP by Governor Lawal. And the writer reads, if I realize there is no more PDP, which means there's no platform for me to contest, I'll run as an independent candidate if there's provision for it. Aww. That's on page 2.
Right.
That's a card carrying member. Stamped. He's not going nowhere. Okay.
We're here.
The party has to move, whether he likes it or not. Oh, that's okay. All right, here it says on page 2 and 29, it says, bandits uproot hectare of cassava, feed cows in fresh Benue attack. Here we go again in Benue. And on page 5, it says, court restrains NLC, TUC, 3 others from embarking on strike protests. And here on page 6, it says, PDP fixes March 28th to 29th for National Convention. And the writer reads, sues for unity among members. And here it's below the foot of the New Telegraph. It says Tinubu directs Budget Office to liberalize electricity subsidies. Well, hooray, hurrah. And that's on page 4. It says BOF warns MDAs to prioritize programs in 2026 budget. FG earns 20.7 trillion naira revenue in 2025 budget. And study says, sleeping without pillows may lower eye pressure. We see everything.
Right.
These individuals, this study, they come out and say a lot of things. For someone that doesn't like sleeping with the pillow, I don't want
What do you do?
to mention any name.
What do you do?
What do I do?
Well,
What do I do? Okay.
there's always a way out.
There's always a way. There's some people that don't like the pillow. Like, hi.
No, it's all right. It's all right. We can keep your secret.
Keep my secret. All right. Next is Nigerian News Direct. Over to you now.
All right, thank you, Jumai. Let's look at the one just above the nameplate top left corner, Nigerian News Direct. Shelve your planned protest. Police warn NLC TUC as court halts protest. Surging value-added tax collections propel FAC distribution to 1.97 trillion naira for December. Contract cycle, how instability in regulation, institutional leadership threatens success of presidential directive. That's according to Patton. Osun local government crisis, respect Supreme Court's judgment, Algon warns Speaker. Uzodinma Boni to lead APC National Convention. Two governors, all right, Yobe and Imo State, are now lined up to lead the convention of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. Those are just the handful of headlines that we have from the Nigerian News Direct today. Let's look at our last paper, and that is the Blueprint.
All right, the Blueprint newspaper above the nameplate, it says Kogi bandits free hostages after collecting motorcycles as ransom, and that's on page 9. And below the Blueprint nameplate, it says Kwara reopen schools as security forces go after bandits, and that's on page 14. On page 20, that's the business segment, it says CBN unveils fintech report lists innovation gains regulatory gaps. And on sports decks on the Blueprint, it says basketball aggrieved stakeholders petition FIBA over tenure elongation, and that's on page 32 of the Blueprint. And the Star story reads, how I acquired 212.8 billion naira seized assets with 15 billion naira legitimate earnings, and that's from Malami. And of course, the writer says, list streams of income, Esther codes, profits from businesses, others. Okay. The next writer says, urges quarter crash interim for future of 57 properties. And besides that, it says APC winning hearts beyond governors, defections delivering stability, Yelwada. And below that, it says electricity subsidies should be borne by 3 tiers of government, and that's from our dear President Tinubu. And the writer says experts advocate shift from fragmented rollover driven budgeting. And at the foot of the Blueprint, it says NAPTIP rescues 21 in Onitsha hotel raid for HIV positive, and that's on page 6. Very sad read there. And on page 13, it says FG arraigns 9 Benue massacre suspects for terrorism. And on page 20, it says FAAC, FG states local government share 1.969 trillion naira in December 2025. And at the foot there, it says oil marketers lamented petrol price hike, warn of sustained cost pressure. And you can read that up on page 20. And that's all about the newspaper review on Global Morning. Go out and get yourself a copy and be well abreast with issues making rounds. Note that Global Television has no impute whatsoever on any of the editorial judgment on this paper. It is read just how it is published. Up next is Social Buzz with Ogochukwu Mobono. Do not go anywhere. Stay tuned.
up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debates, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
When social media speaks, we'll listen and we'll bring you the extra. It's your one-stop show for trends, tweets, and the tea everyone sips. Join the conversation, share your thoughts, and get the extra dose of what's shaking the internet.
And on issues making wave on social media to your doorstep.
Social Buzz Extra, where the trend meets the talk, only on Global Television.
Good morning, Nigerians, and good morning, viewers all around the world. It's time to look at buzzing issues making rounds on social media. And today we'll be looking at President Donald Trump, who has slammed the Grammys and threatened to sue the host, who is Trevor Noah. So U.S. President Donald Trump has publicly slammed the 68th Annual Grammys Award and threatened legal actions against host Trevor Noah following a controversial joke he made about him during the broadcast. In a post on Truth Social, shortly after the Grammys concluded, Trump described the award shows as visually unwatchable. He also slammed Noah, labeling him a total loser and accusing him of making false statements during his on-air monologue. The backlash stems from a joke made by Noah while presenting at the ceremony. After announcing the Song of the Year winner, Noah equipped that the award was coveted by artists almost as much as Trump wanted Greenland, adding, since Epstein gone, he needs a new island to hang out with Bill Clinton. The punchline referred to former financier Jeffrey Epstein and his privately owned Caribbean island, where women were sexually abused. In a post on Truth Social, Trump wrote, "The Grammy Awards are worst, visually unwatchable." He said that CBS was unfortunate to no longer have such garbage on its airwaves. Taking a swipe at Noah, he said that the host was as bad as Jimmy Kimmel at the low-rating Academy Awards. Reacting to his Epstein Island joke, he added, "Noah said incorrectly about me that Donald Trump and Bill Clinton spent time on Epstein Island. Wrong. I can't speak for Bill, but I have never been to Epstein Island, nor anywhere close, and until tonight's false and defamatory statements have never been accused of being there, not even by the fake news media." All right, I would say that the Grammy really came with a loss. The 68th Grammy this year came with a lot, from Nicki Minaj's shocking reveal to Nigerians who are still, arguing that the Grammy is fake and also doesn't meet the requirements and all of that. There's a lot in the Grammy, and now we have the president of America, Donald Trump, accusing the host or saying that he's going to sue the host for wrongly accusing him. So let's take a look at what exactly Trevor Noah said during the show, the Grammys.
Song of the Year. Congratulations, Billie Eilish. Wow. That is a Grammy that every artist wants, almost as much as Trump wants Greenland, which makes sense. I mean, because Epstein's island is gone, he needs a new one to hang out with Bill Clinton. So, oh, I told you it's my last year. What are you going to do about it?
Okay, first of all, I would like to say, before I go into comments, I would briefly like to say that Trump should note that Trevor is, first of all, a comedian, before you look at the other side. But I think Donald doesn't know Trevor, because if he knows Trevor, whom I think he should know, but, you know, you can't expect the president to know everyone. But if he knows Trevor, he should know that that was just simply a joke. Trevor jokes with anyone and anything. But then let's take a look at some comments from social media as regards this issue, and let's see what exactly people think about this statement made by Donald Trump concerning the joke made by Trevor during the 68th Grammy. All right, the first comments coming from Jeff Soul, the singer. So Jeff says, it was a good joke, no accusations, just a brilliant and well-written joke. The guy has no humor anymore, dang. Okay, that's from Jeff. And the next comment is coming from Obi-Wan01. And Obi-Wan says, why do people take unnecessary risks? What is wrong with Trevor? America is not your place. Why make such expensive jokes about a sitting president? Okay, we understand that Trevor isn't an American. He is from South Africa, but he is a comedian. That's what we need to establish, okay? All right, the third, which is the last but not the least for today, is coming from Chike Daniels. And Chike says, the point to note about this post is that in a democratic society, people call out the president and all he can do is sue like a normal citizen and hope that the court agrees with him. DSS or FBI or CIA will not pick up Trevor Noah for cyberbullying. This is how societies should work. Take note of the important things and leave the cruise. All right, that's how he ends his comment. So thank you everyone for dropping this comment, of course. And yes, I'm not alone today in the studio. As always, I have with me Uyi Agbomofwebe. Good morning, Uyi.
Good morning, Ogochukwu. Truth is, you are never alone. It's either I'm here or Jemma is here.
Yes, definitely. Yes, we'll have to dissect this issue. So concerning the president of America and Trevor Noah, do you think the whole lawyer thing and suing thing, do you think is really important at this time?
Well, I don't think it's about the importance of it. It's about the necessity of it. If Donald Trump thinks it's necessary, why not? By all means, he alone can make that call. And if he wakes up tomorrow morning on whatever side of bed and decides to change his mind, of course, so be it. However, let's put these things in perspective. Like you mentioned, Trevor is a long-standing, world-class, globally renowned comedian, right? He has done this across several platforms. This is about the second, maybe the third time, I mean, in a row that he's hosting the Grammys. And for many comedians in his kind of brackets, all right, or in his league, if you like, it is more like the crescendo, like the zenith of your career to host the Grammys. I mean, it looks amazing on your CV. However, these years, if you like, engagement took a very radically different turn. It will appear Donald Trump was the material he brought for his job this time. Talked about Greenland. Of course, we know what Donald Trump's attitude or approach towards Greenland has been like, how that has pitted him against Denmark, against Europe and other parts of the world. We have also seen how that he talked about Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein's case is one that is very disturbing, morally, ethically, and on many fronts. Donald Trump, however, said that nobody should associate him with Epstein because, first of all, he says he broke ties with him in 2004. That's some 22 years ago. And even the BBC, as well as several other credible news outlets across the world, have said that nobody has been able to come forward with evidence tying Donald Trump regarding any wrongdoing with Jeffrey Epstein, who we understand took his life while in jail in the United States. All right, so to that end, we can understand the reason President Trump is furious with...
Is more so sensitive.
Right, so how do you accuse me of something I didn't do, more so something that you cannot even substantiate? There's no evidence. And none of those persons who said they had been sexually harassed or sexually abused in the late Epstein's island, all right, in Little St. James, as we call it, have come up to say that Trump was one of those persons who abused them. We saw how they talked about Prince, a certain Prince from England. We saw how they talked about some other persons. Some of them have even mentioned Bill Clinton, a former president of the US as well. We understand that the Clintons, by the way, Bill Clinton and his wife are now ready to testify before Congress, before the House of Representatives. That hopefully will happen this week. But back to Trump and Trevor, you see, somebody will say there's nothing off the table when it comes to comedy. But the question is, how much is too much? Did you go too far? All right, we need to understand that. You see, we can sit here all day and argue and say the man was just doing his job. He was cracking jokes. But you don't want to wait till it gets to you before you understand how it feels for Donald Trump right now. We're seeing comedians who talk about things like this. We've seen comedians in Nigeria, for example, who talk about the police, and all of a sudden they say, yes, and they say, the police is saying, I didn't know there was a policeman in this hall. Please, it's just a joke, or I'm just joking. We can relate with that, we can understand. But you see, we must also know that not everybody leaves that hall taking it as a joke. For some persons, it's going to form their perspective on the individual, is going to inform or shape their outlook on life. So while for some of us to understand, yes, it's a joke, no big deal, nothing to, be personal about, for others, it matters a lot, especially when the person front and center of this particular joke is no less a person than the president of the free world.
Thank you so much, Oye. So let's see how far this thing is going, this story will go for. So we're going to bring you update, of course, and note that the important thing is make sure to be sensitive when telling your joke. No matter what you are saying, and read the room properly before telling whatever kind of joke, because right now I can't believe that Trevor, I like Trevor, I listen to his stand-up comedies and I really love it, but I think he went too far with this one. He's a bit sensitive. Okay, all right, thank you so much once again, Oye, for your contribution to today's topic. I must say I love all of those points you put out there, and I hope that everyone listening, including comedians listening right now, have learned a thing or two about it. All right, this is where we close the curtains for Social Buzz here on Global Morning. I'll be leaving you in the hands of Oye and Jume as they usher us into the discussion session of Global Morning. So stay with us. Good morning once again, Nigeria and viewers around the world. I am Ogochukwu Mobuno. Bye for now.
When social media speaks, we'll listen and we'll bring you the extra. It's your one-stop show for trends, and the tea everyone seeks. Join the conversation, share your thoughts, and get the extra dose of what's shaking the internet.
And on issues making wave on social media to your doorstep.
Social Buzz Extra, where the trend meets the talk, only on Global Television.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
As it stands today, quite a number of states in Nigeria are marking their 50th anniversary. All right. For example, you have Imo states, you have Ogun, you have Oyo. These states are marking 50 years. Well, 50 years is a long time. That means these states were created as far back as 1970. All right. If that's the case, it means that these states have been here for quite a long time. All right. 71, I should say. Now, 50 years is a long time to look back and ask yourself, what have we achieved so far? Yeah. I've seen personally videos on social media of Governor Seyi Makinde at different events marking this 50th anniversary. Some states have not come that far. My state, for example, Edo, has not come that far. Yeah. Delta too has not come that far. Incidentally, Edo and Delta came from what used to be Bendel states, all right? But whether you're marking 10, 20, 30, 40, or 50 years, it simply means that you're not just marking it to put up a jamboree or to have a series of parties. It should be, yes, we can eat and drink, wine and dine and all of that, but more importantly, at the heart of it all, it's got to be an opportunity to ask ourselves, where were we 50 years ago? Where are we 50 years after? I think that's what countries also do, so they can move themselves from one point to the next.
Yeah, it's very important that you take a reflection of where you are coming
that's the
from.
word. You have to reflect, right?
You have to reflect, just like reminiscing, for instance.
Right.
You have to sit back, you have to digest everything that has happened from the past and bring it up to the future and look at it. Okay, what are the things that we're going to let go? What are the things that we're going to add value to? What are the things that we should impute or remove or add? It's very important, and that is how an individual can grow, not just as a nation, even yourself. It's self-reflection. You have to sit back and say, okay, 10 years ago, that's the only way you can move forward in life. I always tell people, if you do not reflect and see the things that you've done right or wrong and make the most or the best of it, you will never grow. And that's how we have advanced countries. That because they self-reflect on what they can add, what is moving better, what they can impute to make it better, what they can remove to make it better, just for you to thrive. But in Nigeria, I do not know. Maybe that's why I won't say we're stuck. Things are getting better when you look at it, better than where it used to be in a way. Some aspects, segments, and all of that. If you look at it critically, things are better. We are better than where we used to be, but we can be much more. So that is why self-reflection, reminiscing comes in place. It's very important, and everyone should take that into cognizance. I think we do not, and that's why sometimes it looks as if we're still where we are. And individuals, even when there is a change, even when there's a drastic change for growth, many people don't see it because we still have that mindset of where we are coming from. So there has to be an improvement, not just for a nation.
So you are saying it starts with the mind?
Of course it does. It starts with the mind. It starts with your mindset, how you visual things. It's very important, not just for a nation, but for you as an individual for growth. You must sit back, reflect, and see what you can do better or how you can improve your life. Broadcasting, if you stop rehearsing or practicing or making research, it will leave you. Have you ever gone on leave before, not being on the camera for like a month or two,
and then you return,
you
just feel that sense of disconnect.
There's a disconnect, and that's how it is. And talk more of years, there is going to be a disconnect. So it's very important that you have to impute that to make it better, reflect and say, okay, fine, okay, we've been doing this and it's working. This particular system is working. How do we make it better? Oh, this is not really working. How can we let it go, or can we add value to it? It's very important.
Yes, it is. I wouldn't agree less with you on this one, Jumai. But again, that brings up the concern around states now calling for creation of more, interest groups calling for creation of more states. We've seen some states saying that, look, we are too big to be one state. We've got to be, if you like, disintegrated, sort of, all right? So we're seeing people saying that we can have one more state out of Delta. Some people are saying we can have one more state out of Edo. Others are saying we can have one more state out of Oyo. We can have one more state out of Imo or Enugu or whatever the case may be. We can have one state out of Borno and all of that. But beyond the geography of it, just having one additional state from each state, in the case of the Southeast, for example, we understand the idea is for the purpose of fairness and equity, because every region has at least 6 states. So how is it that only the Southeast has 5 states? South, for example, has 6 states.
Yes, it
right?
does.
You go to the Southwest, there are 6 states. You go to the Northeast, you go to the Northwest, you go to the North Central, right? But the Southeast has 5. So why don't we seriously consider evening up in such a way that we can create one more state for the southeastern region of our country? We understand that call is fair enough to make.
Yes.
However, beyond creating these states, what efforts are we going to put into the governance of these states?
Very important.
All right. How are we going to ensure that these states are viable so they don't become an extra baggage? Exactly, on other states or even the center, which is the federal government?
Exactly. So all of these things need to be put in cognizance. It's very important. But if we weigh the options and it's subtle, it's easy to manage, and it's almost the same. There's no burden here. There's no weight here. I don't think we should. I think there's nothing wrong in giving it a second thought. But at the same time, we have to weigh our options. You see, Nigeria, we have bigger things. We have bigger things in front of us that we have to look into. And well, if that shows fairness, equity, transparency, why not? Why not?
Why not? So, all right. So I was talking to somebody just this last weekend, and we're talking about how the children are now demanding for gadgets, not just toys to play with, but this time cell phones. They want to have mobile phones, so they can also keep in touch like everyone else do. I mean, I know how my girls can pick up my phone on the weekend, for example, and pretend to be making calls to their friends in school, calling all the names I've never heard my entire life. And they hand me the phone to also speak with their friends, even though there is no active call on the device. Actually, again, my older girl keeps reminding me that she's got to have a phone, and she's just 6. All right, and then I'm wondering, how on earth do I explain to these young ladies
You're too young.
It's not time?
But that's the thing. It's not like back in the day when you and I were growing up. And
it was only the landline.
It was
right.
The landline. That's
and not everybody had the privilege to pick the call.
Exactly. It was like, you know, it was a big deal. Right. But now the world is evolving. 6-year-olds are telling you they want a phone. But that is why the old and the new comes into play. It's very important that for as much as the cell phones are technology, you understand, and the world is evolving. But at the same time, there should be a balance when it comes to distraction. Right. Like, you know, back in the day, it was easy when everyone had cell phones and all that, but because we were in school and all of that, so there was a particular phone without the internet. So if it's important, it wasn't smart. Right. So if you had any issues, emergency, call that one. You don't need a phone. Our parents made us understand that they knew early enough that this could cause a distraction if it's not well handled. And now that parents are always so busy, what time did you wake up this morning? 3, 4? Because we had to meet a target time. Right. So sometimes parents do not have that time, aside weekends. And we in our profession, sometimes we have to be, even if we are not on air, we're at the scene, we have to be here. So it's very important that for as much as the world is evolving, which is completely fine, I understand, but there has to be a balance, and we have to make them understand why it's not time yet. For as much as phone is good, tell your friends to call me, I can hand over the phone to you to speak with if it's important, but there's always an age bracket when it is time.
Minimum age.
That's why they say there's time. In the holy books, my holy book says there's time and season for everything. So we have to make them understand.
So you don't have to jump the gun.
No, please don't. Please. And your whining shouldn't be
like an excuse for you to say, let's pacify them.
No, I'm not going to pacify you.
You know, it's quite interesting when you look at the numbers. I mean, what the statistics are saying about how that young people, when they get exposed to smart devices, cell phones in particular, too early, how it damages them mentally.
Yes, it does.
Like you mentioned, how it also distracts them.
Yes, it does.
Because there's this culture of scrolling that we now have. People just scroll, increase screen time.
Yes, it does.
People are becoming less intelligent, more addicted to social media content.
Very true.
And most times, these contents that they consume, you can't even be sure how it impacts them. Because at the end of the day, you're asking yourself, who checks quality of all of this? I mean, not so much of real guardrails, all right, are put in place in that regard. Because once you have access to a smart device, you have access to the internet, with increasing penetration of the internet across the world, you realize that it's like being on the loose.
But you know what, as like I mentioned before, it's a balance of both worlds.
Right.
And like I said, the world is evolving. It's very important that we understand that we have to move with the flow, move with the trend, but with balance. For as much as screen time cannot be hazardous, sometimes it's a platform to actually learn. For as much as it's a distraction. So you as a parent, if you think, okay, fine, because the world is evolving, technology is here to stay, and I want my kids to be abreast when it comes to technology. Okay, fine. Saturdays, you have your screen time 1 hour. 1 hour, you are done, and that is it. So it's like a balance. For as much as I will not give it to you to hold and sleep with it, wake up with it, and
Take
all
it
of
to
that.
school.
Take it to, are you kidding me? Take it to school, how? No. There's a policy that after an hour, you had, or you put it in the box. There's a box. Turn it or put it in the box. You understand that there is always a limit to everything. But as much as you should understand, there should be a balance. The world is evolving, but at the same time, the old and the new must come into play.
Right, you've got to come into play, no doubt about that. Let's take another break, everyone. We're back shortly with the rest of the program for you. Do stay with us. Up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
New Imo is on the rise. In the beating heart of Owerri, business never sleeps. From sunrise to sundown, the wheels keep turning. And behind the scenes, vision meets action. Governor Hope Uzodinma's leadership has left the pages of manifestos to become real actions and achievements. Transformations that piece by piece feels like a miracle. But progress needs peace to thrive, and in Imo, we are not leaving it to chance. From land to sky to river deep, guardians are always watching, protecting dreams and opportunities. If you go to the quiet shore of Orashi Power, you will see the awakening of a hydropower roaring to electrify and energize a blossoming economy. The change is visible. The heartland of the East is under construction as new roads are threading together once forgotten places. Industry is humming again and communities are alive. At the center of it all, a digital revolution is rising. A new ministry with a new mission. Not just cables and codes, but capacity. 500,000 young minds trained each year to build a digital future. And as Orashi Power goes up, so does Imo, lifting with it the hopes of a hard-working people. A new Imo is on the rise.
Up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
we delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
Let's take a quick look at what the weather has in store as we head into Tuesday. If you are in the north central region, keep an eye on the skies. We are seeing a good influx of moisture, so expect a partly cloudy conditions through the day. And by afternoon, yes, those clouds will start to build up. Some areas of the Federal Capital Territory, Niger, Nasarawa, and Benue State may hear a few rumbles of thunder, mostly without rain. Kogi and Kwara State, only a slim chance of thunderstorms, but still worth watching out for. Now, heading down south, there's where things get more active as residents of Oyo, Ogun, Oshun, Imo, Ondo, and most cities over the coastal areas should prepare for thunderstorms, especially later in the day. Well, up north, it's simple and dry, plenty of sunshine and rising temperatures. So stay cool and stay hydrated. And that's your weather update. Wherever you are, stay weather ready. I am Akami Samarda, and thank you for watching.
Let's turn to our discussion on the program today as we look at the opposition in Nigeria and how internal wrangling affects what otherwise should make the opposition front more virile and robust. This morning we'll be joined by Dr. Grema Kyari, who is a member of the PDP National Working Caretaker Committee, the Wike-led faction. He had also contested for PDP Chairman, Borno State Chapter. Dr. Kyari, I'd like to say a big thank you to you for coming on the program.
Thank you so much.
Good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Great. So we're going to give you the opportunity to help us understand what exactly is happening within the PDP. Incidentally, you are a member of the party on the Wike side, so to speak. That is what makes it interesting, because at the end of the day, we are wondering how could a PDP that once was a political family become siblings of, who knows, maybe the same dad but different moms. How did the PDP get to where it is today?
Good morning, viewers. Actually, if you look at democracy itself, conflict is an ingredient of democracy. At times conflict is necessary, and it is what really brings about positive change. It is necessary, and of course, if there's a conflict, you would understand that you are going to have a lot of changes. And today, what is happening in PDP, as we are all aware, last year, 2025, there was a court order, two different court orders from Federal High Court that stops the convention to take place in Ibadan between 15th and 16th of November 2025. And despite the two court orders, the PDP, led by Damagum by then, they went ahead and seek for another court order from State High Court in Ibadan. And that State High Court gave them interim injunction to carry out, to go and conduct the convention. And they went ahead and conducted despite the two different court orders from the Federal High Court. INEC wasn't there to monitor the convention. They conducted, they dispatched. And after that, there was a judgment that came last week, Thursday, from Ibadan. And that, from Federal High Court Ibadan. That Federal High Court Ibadan, we are the one, we joined to the issue, to the suit. It is Kabiru Turaki led faction that went and, seek for order of Pandemos. They want the court, the Federal High Court Ibadan, compel INEC to accept the outcome of the Ibadan Convention.
Right.
You understand? So actually, the court said no. The court went ahead and nullified the outcome
of the convention.
Right. All decisions that took place on that day, they went ahead and nullified it. And not only that, the court went ahead and recognized our own caretaker as a legitimate, structure. Because immediately at the end of the expiration of the tenure, on 9th of December, before 9th of December, our caretaker came on board on 7th December 2025. We were inaugurated on 7th December 2025 before the expression, that is 2 days to the expression of the tenure of the then, National Working Caretaker Committee, National Working Committee, you understand. So actually, you can see, as of today, there's we don't have function in PDP. There's no faction in PDP today. What we have today is, the only body is our own body. Even yesterday, 2nd February, we had 150 next meeting yesterday here in Abuja. And that is to tell you that we are right on track. And there is part of the resolutions we had yesterday includes, we went ahead and fixed, date for convention. And convention is going to take place on 28th and 29th of next month, which is March 2026. And before then, it is expected that congresses and the vote at the local government, at the state, and of course at the zonal level of the affected states is going to take place before we move into proper convention on 28th and 29th of March 2026.
Interesting. Let me ask you this just as a follow-up. There are those who believe that your faction of the party is living in denial, all right, by saying that there are no factions. Because as we see right now, the Turaki-led faction is still carrying on as though nothing has happened. Of course, we know there's a court order in that regard saying that your faction of the party should go ahead and provide leadership and all of that. But talk to us about how much of damage this does to your party, because on top of all of this, we are seeing governors also defect. Several governors of your party, the latest one being Abu Kefas of Taraba State. Are we also going to pretend that this has not badly damaged the membership and leadership strength of the PDP?
No, it won't damage because, as I've said earlier, these are ingredients of democracy and ingredients of internal...
Including this mass defection?
Of course, it happens. Alignment and realignment, it happens before election. These are the pre-election activities of political parties. You see, one person is moving from this party to this party, and then, of course, because we have been receiving a lot of calls from different parts of this country. Even yesterday, because my phone even went off because of several calls from different parts of the country. Now they said the PDP is now okay because there was a court judgment in Ibadan. They seek for order of fundamentals, they couldn't get it. The court went ahead. It was a judgment. The court went ahead and said the legitimate your caretaker committee is the legitimate body. Go ahead and carry on your activities. And the only thing we can do, and then it compelled INEC to accept our own caretaker committee. It was all part of the judgment. It is the only thing we can do is we have to send the judgment to the INEC to comply so that we can conduct we give the INEC notice, then we carry out the convention as stipulated yesterday by the NEC, you understand? So all what is happening, these are things that is normal in politics, is normal in internal democracy. People move from one place to another place based on certain interests, you understand? You have to understand that politics is rooted on interests. You understand? Right. That is what is actually happening.
Now, away from the convention, now we know that the 2027 election is just around the corner.
Yeah.
Now, what strategies does the PDP intend to take into the 2027 election?
PDP, is one of the largest political party in Africa. That is, nobody can deny that. We started, the PDP started in the year 1998 by G34. And of course, in 1999, the first president is from PDP. And Yar'Adua, Goodluck Jonathan, all of them. You understand? We have a lot of senators. What is happening now? The PDP always had a strategy. We have a lot of thinkers, better people. It's rooted. All 1,000. I think it's if you go all 774 local government, we have we have structure. Our people are already there. They are there. The only thing is you can see the governors are moving, but the people are already there. Those people at the grassroots, they are already there. They didn't move to anywhere. Most of them, they are there. So what is happening is that now our concern is, what do we do? Now that we have gotten a judgment from Federal High Court, despite the fact that the other faction, they said they were going to appeal, but I know they will not succeed because two Federal High Court say don't go and do it. They went ahead and did it. So what is happening now is, then it is them that they went to Federal High Court. You understand? It's not our own side. They went and said, okay, please give us order upon the money, compel INEC to accept the outcome of the convention. The Federal High Court say no. Because Federal High Court is the same Federal High Court. Whether it is in Bayelsa, whether it's in Kano, whether it's in Maiduguri, it's the same Federal High Court, the same jurisdiction. So when there's a two order from two Federal High Court in Abuja, how can Federal High Court in Ibadan give different order or judgment? It's not possible. You understand? And this is what has happened. I know we have a lot of strategies, but our concern now is, now that the NEC says go and do. The part of resolutions yesterday, yes, we should go and conduct congresses. At what level? At the local government level, at the state level, then we come over to Congress in Abuja here on 28 and 29. That is actually what is happening. Immediately after that, we swing into action. Of course, our door, in that meeting yesterday, they said, yeah, our door are open for those people who are agreed to come back, you understand, and then we move together.
Are they expected to come back on their own, or is the PDP being deliberate by, for instance, setting up, maybe putting a mechanism in place, maybe a panel, a committee or something, to drive efforts to ensure these people come back into the fold?
A statement has been made and has been issued yesterday that yes, the door is open, When they didn't come, the next thing, what is going to happen, definitely. You cannot be on the edge. Definitely, you cannot sit at the fence.
Tell them if the window closes.
No, of course, they themselves, they will not sit at the fence. You understand? They have to decide. They have to take decisions, of course. Because even the judgment of Ibadan that came, a lot of them, they now came under our roof, and some, they are now willing to, they make decisions to move into another party. But definitely, I know, after the convention, a lot of things will going to happen, because whoever that didn't make decisions, and he said he's in PDP and not with us, I don't think it will going to succeed. He has to make a decision, of course.
Before now, Dr. Kerry, the belief was that the soul of the PDP was being tugged at, or if you like, dragged, on the one side by former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, on the other side by Nyesom Wike, Minister of the FCT. But today, Mr. Abubakar has left the PDP, he's a member of the ADC now. Who is now, if you like, struggling the soul of the PDP? Is it Wike versus Sheyi Makinde for your state, or is it Wike versus Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State?
Yeah, you can say our national leader is Barrister Nyesom Wike, CON, the Federal Minister of the Capital Territory. Is our national leader. He's the national leader of PDP. The PDP is one now. He's the national leader. Whether people like it or not, that is the reality. And this is a man that, if you could remember, is the one that brought Sheyi Makinde from SDP in those days
into the PDP.
Into the PDP. And then the same thing, Bala Mohammed, from APP, not ANPP, from APP, he brought him from APP to contest, to become what he is today in PDP. And these are the two people that they are now fighting him, and they couldn't succeed up to now. And I don't know what is happening, definitely they have to come to us, or they have to go their own way. You understand? Today, since 1998, if you could remember, Barrister Nyesom Wike has not left the party up to today. And he has been in the corridor of power from local government chairman, 2 times local government chairman. He became the chief of COS, chief of staff to the governor. He became a state minister for education. He became a 2 times governor of Rivers State, and now FCT minister. And this man, he has been the financier of the party. Everybody knows in this country. Those big men, like the big name, like former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Immediately after 2019 general election, he was the national leader, but he abandoned the party. He abandoned his supporters, and he went away doing his own, personal business. And this man said, this party is belong to us. I have to take the responsibility. He has been financing it. And if you abandon your house, who do you think can? Let's assume you are a family of, you have 2 wives, 5 children. You abandon them. You are not taking care of their needs, and your neighbor is taking care of their needs. What do you think could happen? Can they take order from you? They cannot take your order from you. They prefer taking order from somebody that is now giving them the breads, daily breads. And this is what happened. Atiku Abubakar abandoned PDP, and some of them abandoned. Nyesom Wike took the responsibility. And again, when we came for the election in primary election in 2022, and Atiku said, I have to contest. Wike is also, contested. And when Atiku discovered that he will not win because Wike has already, penetrated deeply into all 36 states, including FCT. When Atiku discovered that, he said, okay, what do we do? Okay, he said, okay, please, Tambuwal, the former speaker, former governor of Sokoto State, please, Tambuwal, please step down for me. He pleaded, and that is how Tambuwal stepped down for him, and then his own supporters and supporters of that is how they win the election from Wike. And immediately after that 2023 election, what Atiku is supposed to do is he's supposed to learn from the lesson of 2019, which he couldn't. He abandoned his supporters again for the second time. And normally if you abandon your supporters can shift loyalty from you to other person. And from there, Wike says, I can still go ahead and take the responsibility. And actually, this is what has happened. Now, when Atiku discovered that he again want to contest in 2027 under PDP, using Bala Mohammed and Say Makinde, who started fighting the person that brought them into the PDP, the person that brought them into limelight. And then he said, okay, there's no problem. But at the end of the day, when he discovered that he will not going to win the election, which has already gotten ground, he said, I'm going to resign from PDP. And that is what exited him from the PDP. Everybody knows about that. He went to ADC. And if you could remember, Atiku defected from PDP twice. He went to ACN, he came back to PDP again. From PDP, he went to ACN, he came back to PDP. And then from PDP, he went to APC and he came back again. And today, from PDP, he defected to ADC. Who knows what will happen next? Nobody.
All right, I have looking at all of these things as Wike being the peacemaker, trying to bring everyone together. Like you mentioned before, he's a card-carrying member of the PDP. But why is he turned the villain and the individual that is responsible for all the fractions that is happening in the PDP?
Can you come again?
Yeah, I said if he's trying to bring peace, harmony, and trying to stabilize the party, why do some members and individuals still tag him as the villain? And why did they tag him as someone that is responsible for the fractions in the PDP till now?
No, that is misconception.
Oh.
We have been saying, that's why we have been coming to, discuss and going to change the narratives. People need to understand the matrix of Nigerian politics. And there are some people, particularly the Semakindi, the Damagum, Bala Mohammed, they are doing, telling to their supporters, sharing, different kind of, narratives about, the FCT minister, our national leader, which is not supposed to be like that. This is the person who has never left the party. In Nigeria today, think of all these leaders, except the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who from one party he came to a merger. He has never left, defected to any party. Who else? Think of anybody. They are from this party to another party. after any election season, you see they will leave this party. If they discover that they are always looking at the leadership, they are always looking at becoming, number one, they are going to contest the president. If there's no window, they move to another party. If not Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who all his life is from SAN, and then came to a merger with ANPP, or Senator Ali Modi Sharif, and then of course CPC of late Muhammad Buhari. Right. They merged together and they produced APC. If not that, think of all these leaders, even the late Buhari, from ANPP, APP, and then to CPC. He has been, but think of our leaders, think of any one of them. Nyesom Wike, our national leader, has not left the PDP.
But he shows more support to the APC.
And you have to understand that. This kind of personality you hardly get somebody who has not left the party from the immemorial, from the at the right time that he joined the party. Up to today, he has been in PDP.
True.
Of course, you have to drop your hat to him. No matter what they are going to tell about him, whether they are saying he's creating this, no, that is not the reality. It's not reality. It's misconception. Yes.
And some say that with the way he supports President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, there's a slight chance that he might want to defect to the APC.
No, he's not going anywhere because time will tell. He's not going anywhere. He has never been like that before. And why should he do that? He will not do that. People need to understand there's a paradigm shift in Nigerian politics today. There's a politics. I can say, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a man who thinks greatness, who thinks that yes, let's have a very good development, let's have a reform. When he discovered that the FCT minister now, our national leader, he has done wonderful in Rivers State. And he said, if I bring this man to FCT as a minister, I believe he is going to do a lot. Considering the fact that FCT needs a robust, reform and transformation. He said, look at what he has done in Rivers State. I believe he can, change the narratives. In FCT, let me try him. They strike a deal, and he extended a hand of fellowship. He's a man he knows from PDP. But do you know some of our leaders, they cannot do that. Even no matter how you are closer to them, no matter how intelligent you are, they will not invite you to come and work under their government. And this is what we're supposed to have in this country. You understand? We need to have a better polity, not a politics of bitterness.
All right. I want to add to the question Juma just asked you now. We saw Seyi Makinde not too long ago, sometime at the twilight of 2025. He granted a press sort of media briefing where he talked about how that he had been at a meeting with your national leader, talking about Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, and the president. And he says, Wike told the president, don't worry, I will hold down the PDP for you so you can continue to win within the APC. Of course, the minister of the FCT has come out to debunk that position. That's number one. Number two, Wike has said clearly to everyone who cares to listen that going into 2027, his loyalty is with the president, that he is going to support the president. In business or in the corporate world, we would have said that's conflict of interest, or if you like, brand conflict, because we understand he's still a card-carrying member of the PDP and is a leader of the PDP. How then do you say you are going to support an APC president in 2027?
Yeah, this is what I'm telling you. There's a paradigm shift in Nigerian politics. We call it new.
And it is Mr. Wike that defines that shift.
Of course, we need to understand. The political actors in Nigeria need to understand what is happening. These things are not happening before. Why is it that it is happening now? Yes, there are some factors. And initially, it is Bola Ahmed Tinubu wants to have a developmental stride in FCT and beyond within the country. And when he sat down in his comfort of his room, he discovered that yes, Barrister Nyesom Wike, he has done great in Rivers State. Let me try him. Look at the kind of strike that is happening, what is happening, the kind of noise is happening in FCT, being sponsored by some other people. Despite that, our national leader is very firm, consistent, and even the president himself doesn't care much on that issue because he knows that man, because these are people that they are forced to reform. Reform is taking place. Even the industrial union, they are not supposed to, carry the strike to this land, because industrial harmony, industrial relations in 21st century, it is not like this. And for that matter, they are in FCT. Other states, they will emulate them. It's not good for labor unionism in Nigeria, because labor unionism in 21st century, it is not so. Look at what they are doing. Despite court order, they are continuing strike. It's not supposed to be like that. As a labor leader, leaders are supposed to respect the rule of law of the country. When you are not respecting the rule of law of the country, what are you doing? What are you telling to people? What kind of signals are you sending to other young generation that are coming on board? Are you now telling them that let them also be like that? Is it good for the country? Are we going to have a healthy political environment? If there's a court order, if we are not respecting order from the court, you are saying, this court, they are compromised. Of course, you need to go to the higher courts and challenge this thing. As an appellate court, you have to go. But why should you say, they have compromised, accusing the judges? Itself, accusing judges, it has implications. Yes, it has implications.
My question really, the import of my question is to ask, what happens to the PDP in 2027, especially as it has to do with the presidency or the presidential election? If your leader, your national leader, Mr. Wike, has said he will support an APC candidate.
Yes, we are.
Is that not conflicting?
No, we are not yet to that time.
Or is the APC merging with the PDP going forward?
No, for now, what we have before us is for us to conduct a congresses. Local government, state, ward, local government, and then state congress, and then come to convention.
Right.
That issue we cannot discuss now. We still have the time. The election is coming up February, March, right?
Right.
According to INEC next year. It's not yet time. We still have close to 1 year or 1 year plus. So we still have time. What we have before us now is, let us have a kind of ward and local government congresses, state congresses, and then of course convention that is acceptable to all. That is our mandate now as a caretaker committee, and we are up to the task. I believe by God's grace we are going to do it in a way and manner that is going to be acceptable to all, where we are not going to have a huge and cries from our members.
So now, with all of this going to the grassroots, now what major strategies are the PDP putting in place to build back that trust and confidence that individuals have? Because this fractions has really caused a lot of issues, from these defections and all of that, and the fractions that are happening in the PDP. So what are you doing to rebuild the trust?
Yes, we thank God that we are law-abiding, and the rule of law is very clear. The court has already given us judgment, and our members at the grassroots, as I've said earlier, we receive a lot of calls when we share to our social media handles, and of course mainstream media like your own. I've carried the news that yes, there's a court judgment in favor of our own side, and that alone has given confidence to majority of our members at the grassroots level. Now, and then with yesterday NEC meeting and NEC resolution that there is going to be a congresses in those affected states, and then of course after that we are going to have a convention. That alone, yesterday's news has given them a strong confidence that yes, we are in the right track. We are coming on board to see that yes, we are everywhere as previously is in PDP.
Someone will say, before you came up, someone will say there's nothing happening in the PDP, there's nothing to write home about due to these fractions that has caused this carcass amongst the members. Now, do you think the PDP has a very strong point in coming back as a very strong opposition party against the ruling party APC in the 2027 election?
Of course, today we have only two political parties, only PDP and APC.
Really?
I didn't consider ADC because this ADC. If you look at it, who are those in the APC? One is Atiku Abubakar, Rotimi Amechi, Arabe Sola, Rufai.
And you don't see them as strong potentials?
Peter Obi. You know, Peter Obi has not resigned in Labour Party up to now. There have been accusing people on him that yes, he has not resigned from Labour Party. And you know, there was a recent judgment in favor of
the Nana Usman-led faction.
Of course, Nana Usman is with Peter Obi. Everybody knows about that. Oti, of course. And one of his legs, Peter Obi, one of his legs is outside, one in Labour Party, one in ADC. By the time when he discovered that he has not gotten a ticket in ADC, he will move to Labour Party and contest as a presidential flag bearer. And that will now divide the ADC. That's why we didn't consider even ADC as a political party, because they will have a crisis. Even now they have an internal crisis. Everybody knows about that. I believe you all know, and they will not survive that.
So, in your own opinion, we only have two political parties in Nigeria?
Of course, only PDP and FEC.
Okay.
I want to ask you something just before we take a break now, and then we'll talk about other issues beyond Abuja. Let's look at Peter Obi as a factor. In 2019, he ran as he stood for election as running mate to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Of course, they say PDP came very close in that election, even though it became a second term for late former President Muhammadu Buhari. Yeah. But of course, going into 2023, he left the PDP, moved into the Labour Party, and we saw what the Labour Party did in that election, even though he never won at the end of the day. Today, there are speculations that the PDP is considering bringing in Peter Obi, maybe as a flag bearer in 2027. Is there any iota of truth in that?
No, I don't know that issue. I'm not aware of it. But if it is really that is what is going to happen, time will tell. But for now, as a member of the caretaker committee, I don't know anything about that. We are now focused on our mandate, which is conduct of the congresses and then of course convention.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break, everyone. When we return, we'll stretch it a bit further by looking at what's happening in Rivers State now, because that's one of the three major states who understand that determine who wins the presidential election in this country. We'll talk about that and the money factor in Nigerian politics, especially on the opposition side, after this short break. Please do stay with us. Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
All right, Dr. Kerry, I want to ask you about Rivers State in particular. Just on the very day that Governor Agbo Kefas of Taraba State defected from your party to the APC, the Vice President spoke at that event on behalf of the President himself, and he said, look, governors are the leaders of their parties, of the party in their respective states. And of course, Rivers State is the basis on which that statement was made. Your national leader, Nyesom Wike, and his estranged girl's son, Siminalayi Fubara, have been at loggerheads for a very, very long time. Today, the governor has defected to the APC, while your leader remains in the PDP. How much advantage or otherwise does the PDP have in Rivers State as it stands right now? Because whether you like it or not, the Rivers State has now become an APC state.
Yeah, the issue of Rivers State is very complex. And then, of course, people have not understood it well. You know what is happening in Rivers State? Our national leader, as I've told you, is the former governor for 8 years. When he was leaving the office, a lot of people are willing to become the governor, to become his own successor.
Right.
And then he said, okay, Fubara, you deserve that seat. I believe you are going to continue from where I stopped. I believe you are going to do better even than me. And that's why he anointed him and he became the governor of Rivers State. And after that, he couldn't do as expected. And what could you expect from a father whose sons misbehaves or whose sons couldn't take much of order from him? And definitely you will expect that, yes, things will not go well. And that is how they started. Your son, you expect him to become very good son, very good father as well. But he's not doing the right thing. Your expectation was he's going to do the right thing, but the reverse is the case. And instead of for him to do what is expected, he relied much on those projects that his godfather did. And that is the beginning of the problem. And, you know, he's supposed to be loyal to him. This person that brought him to the governance. He made him the governor, and he knows his own, power in the FDP in the whole of the country. Wike is different godfather from other godfathers.
What makes him different?
Yeah, because of his power. Somebody who is very powerful in a political party, and FDP is a very strong political party in Nigeria, not only Nigeria, in West Africa. And this man is the financier. He has been sponsoring a lot of rep senators across the country. Those people who he thinks they can do better, they can deliver things, they can bring development in the country. He sponsored them not only in south, but south, northeast, northwest, southwest, and everywhere in all 6 political geopolitical zones. Not only restricted to only Rivers State. And having understood that, yes, this man, your godfather, our national leader, is very strong man in body policy of this country. Can't you respect him? Can't you, bring down your head and so that you can now, accept his own ideas and go together so that you will not have conflict with him? But Fobora, he started fighting the members of the House of Assembly of Rivers State. He started fighting with local government chairman. He started fighting with everybody. I said, okay. Our national leader said, no, it's not possible like that. Today, he comes to APC. Yes. He is an APC. We know he's an APC. Our national leader controls. He has the gates of Rivers State, whether we like it or not. Whether you're an APC, Labour Party, SDP, ABGA or FDP, he holds the key for Rivers State. You can bear me witness. Last week, Friday, what has happened? When we tour some of the local governments in Rivers State, you see how people have been chanting. Now we care we want, now we care we want.
Okay.
You see, look at how people have gathered. These people, all of them, they loved him. They knew he has done a lot to Rivers State. And up to now, because of that, they loved him. And they know he is their son. And he's doing well in Nigeria. And he's doing well in Abuja. Here, FCT, everybody knows that Wike has transformed FCT. And still he's doing a lot. Can't you love your son who is transforming Abuja? Who is always in the headlines of the media? People doesn't want him, they're attacking him. Can you also join them and start attacking your own son who is doing well? I don't think it is possible like that. And that's why they said, we love you, you are our son, you are our father. They did reception for him on Saturday. Even this last Saturday. Yes, because of what he has done to them in Rivers and elsewhere. And because of this, he holds the key for Rivers State. Whether FEC, he decides what happens in Rivers State.
You keep saying he holds the key for Rivers State, and he's doing all of this. That's the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike. He's doing all these things for national development between the tussle with him and the governor of Rivers State, Simonalayi Fubara. They've been going in and out. This tussle has lingered for a very long time. And you feel the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, is not doing all of this out of his own personal interest?
No, I didn't look at that, because if our national leader can do this because of his personal interest, I don't think we can see what we are now seeing in Abuja. You see a lot of developmental, activities in Abuja. You can see a lot of, roads, constructions, lights, and everything. Water, sanitation. Lots of things is happening in Abuja. We know during Muhammadu Buhari, during former minister, all those things are not there. And now people are even saying Wike is better for Abuja. And you see, because of this, definitely people felt, yes, he needs to be there. And of course, people love him for that. And whether we like it or not, what is happening in Rivers State, he is going to be a man that can decide what is happening in APC, what is happening in PDP.
Okay, just to follow up on my question now, like you said, a lot of people are saying he's better to be here in Abuja. And you think with this tussle between him and the governor, Siminalayi Fubara, is not an interference on the way things should be done in Rivers State according to the vision of Siminalayi Fubara? You think there's no interference whatsoever? He's not interfering?
No, that's why I said earlier, as a father, if your son is misbehaving, irrespective of his locations, can you sit down and see him?
When you say misbehaving, what do you mean?
I mean, you're not doing what is expected of the society, what is expected of the community, what is expected of the state.
But sorry, Dr. Kyari, just so our viewers understand better, because that's the reason you're on the show now. Just to share that. But Mr. Wike has almost never complained about the performance of the governor. He has always said that he doesn't like ungrateful people.
Exactly.
So what are the elements of this ingratitude that he keeps talking about? That he's ungrateful. Who is he ungrateful to, and on what basis are we saying he's ungrateful?
That is what I'm saying. When you started fighting your own people, he's fighting his own people, and those people that he's fighting, they are loyal to our national leader, and he's now fighting them. What does that translate? It means he's not grateful. That is ungratefulness. Because if he's grateful, this man, he's fighting House Assembly, you are loyal to Nyesom Wike, he's fighting them. Instead of for him to accept them, if there's a problem, sit down and resolve it amicably as a leader, but he doesn't do that. So if he's not doing that, that is actually what is those things that are happening. And of course, if things like that are happening, will you be silent? You don't sit down and close your eyes and allow things like that to happen, because it can lead to anything. And that's why he need to talk to him, because he brought him as a successor, and he thinks he can do better, not in terms of developmental alone, but in terms of managing our party supporters. If you are not managing the party supporters and the person that brought you, he will not be happy, definitely, I know.
So now that Governor Siminalayi Fubara has tilted towards the APC, what next now?
Yeah, whether he tilted to wherever he is, he need to come to our national leader, of course, or else definitely there's a problem, because I don't think in Rivers State, whatever our national leader said, okay, go and vote to so person, the votes of whole Rivers State is moving to that direction. So, Fubara is supposed to sit down and think deep, so that he can find solution himself. He need to,
even as the elected governor of the state.
Yes, because those APC from critical circulars APC from other places cannot solve that problem except Wike, because National Secretary has said that it was on air. The National Secretary of APC has said that it is the Wike that can be among those people that can resolve the crisis of Rivers State.
But the president has made clear that the governor is the leader of the party, at least in Rivers State. Plus, we are now learning that President Tinubu is telling Mr. Nyesom Wike to steer clear of this impeachment proceedings against the governor. So don't you also think that's a game changer for the PDP, especially as it has to do with Rivers State?
No, you know, the issue of that leadership of the governor, this statement is generic. They made the statement, it's the vice president that made the statement. It's generic. He's talking to all 36 states. But it is not particularly directed to Rivers State because the river issue is exception.
But the same scenario can apply to Rivers State?
No, I don't think so. Because
why is that?
If it is so, the things cannot be like that. Because the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, knows the capacity of our national leader. And that's why he is with him as a FCT minister today. You understand? And that's why up to tomorrow, he rely much on him as far as Rivers State is concerned. He didn't rely on Fubara, despite the fact that Fubara defected to APC. You know, Fubara doesn't control the crowd of Rivers State. He doesn't hold the key of the Rivers State. Because if you rely on Fubara, definitely there's going to be a problem in Rivers State. And that's why the president is very mindful. And you know, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you know how well he is in terms of Nigerian politics. He's well grounded. He knows everything about Nigerian politics. You understand? He studied as an Adeko, this and that. You know, up to today, he knows the people of Nigeria, the content of the Nigerian politics very well. That's why he's handling the issue in a way and manner that it deserves to be, you know, handled.
Your national leader, Nyesom Wike, was in Rivers State not so long ago, and he said that all political structures have now been collapsed, that you no longer have political parties as we know them. Instead, what you now have is a renewed hope family. What does he hope to achieve with that?
Well, that is what I'm telling you.
Does he have the power to collapse political parties? In a state that has multiple political parties, can one man collapse them?
Whatever party you belong to, as far as Rivers politics is concerned, that's why I'm telling you.
Wike is the leader.
Yeah, of course he's a leader. Even the APC critical circular, they are saying that it is Fubara that is leader in APC. It is not. Look at what happened on Friday. Who launched the Renew Hope, you know, ambassadors inaugural this thing in Rivers State? Is it not our leader? It's our leader that launched the ambassadors, Renew Hope ambassadors in Rivers State on Friday. You understand? And everybody is on air. Everybody has seen that program. If it is Fubara, it's Fubara that can do that program. That's why either you're an FUC, you're an PDP, or ABGA, or Labour Party, your leader in Rivers State is our national leader, who is Barrister Nyesom Wike, because he has changed the matrix of Rivers State politics already. And I understand. So people need to understand, the political actors, the researchers need to understand, and then conduct a research so that it can be useful for younger generation. Of course, it's a new thing that is happening in our body politic. People need to understand.
Talking about new things happening in our body policy, we saw some old members of your party, very senior ones, and efforts that your party, the PDP, is making to bring them back into the fold. For example, former President Goodluck Jonathan, we saw the Turaki-led faction of the party pay him a visit, and it makes you wonder, why would a Jonathan, a former president, a former vice president, a former governor in this country, not be actively involved in the politics of the PDP, in the leadership of the PDP? Why do we have such a... And he's not alone in that category. We have a few other presidents, high-ranking Nigerians who are members of your party, and today they are just staying aloof. They are not interested in what's happening in your party. Why does the PDP have that situation?
They're interested, because if they're not interested, because they're interested, they're waiting to the final, you know, this thing. You know,
but why did they disconnect from the party in the first place?
Exactly.
In the first place?
Yes.
No, they didn't. Some of them, they didn't.
But he has not been attending meetings. I've spoken to senior members of your party, and they say that efforts made to invite him for meetings, he never honored.
Okay, if I can talk in particular of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan.
Right.
You know, there was a time that Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, Johnny Buhari, attempted to move into FEC. You could remember that.
Was he attempting to move to the APC?
FEC by then. Johnny Buhari. He was thinking that Buhari can give him an opportunity for him to contest to be a flag bearer
in 2023.
2023. He made that attempt. When he was making that attempt, he refused,
to associate with the PDP.
Associate with PDP, understand? Because you don't have a double standard. He has been avoiding that until recently. When he discovered that issue opportunity has gone, and now the opportunity is only PDP. As a member of PDP, he has not resigned also. And then when he started, okay, let me see whether if I can get an opening. He want to, come and contest. And then the issue of the convention came on board. Damagum led National Working Committee, had state congresses in various states, and they discovered that there are a lot of hues and crises. Ordinary forms. They deny members to purchase form and to contest some elective position at the state congresses in many states. Despite that, they gave to form to those people they like. They said, okay, we have conducted, and so persons, they have scaled through and what have you. And they are rushing to conduct the congresses, the convention. When former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido, said, I'm also going to contest the national chairman. He came to purchase the form. They said, no, we are not going to sell the form for you. The time is already over. And crisis came, and then Goodluck Jonathan refused to. Then he refused to start associating with it. He refused, and he went and sat down and watching what is going to happen, thinking that maybe at the end of the day he can get an opportunity. Up to today, that is what he's looking at. So, if you really want to contest, our national leader is here. He knows him very well. You need to pay him a courtesy call and start making the conversation. That is politics. There's not any hidden thing in politics. You have to come out. If you really want to come out and contest, just make your mind and reach out to those people that are concerned. Go to your own constituency, start talking with your own constituency, go to your own ward, your own polling unit, and of course your own local government, and then your own local state, and then you come over to national and look at who are the national leaders. Reach out to them. These are the procedures. Nobody stopped him from that. But has he come? He has not come. Turaki-led faction, they thought reaching out to big names is going to add value for them, and that's why they started moving out around Nigeria, going to this, without at their own instance, not at the instance of those people, which is very, very embarrassing.
So you think it was a wrong move they made?
It's a wrong move. What they're supposed to do is that they're supposed to concentrate on their own, legal tussle, for them to be going loving these people so that they can share to the media, conventional media and new media, social media, telling that the president, so person will want to contest, we are going to support him, we are often for him. This is not politics. They're supposed to concentrate on their own legal tussle. When the legal tussle is over, whoever want to contest will come. Yesterday in our NEC meeting, we have members of parliament. They have categorically said some of their colleagues now that the judgment is over, they are very happy they have a platform to contest, and now they are very eager. They are going to start their aspiration. By May, I think primary elections is going to be kick-started, and definitely according to the INEC. So definitely people are now, we don't have, as far as PDP is concerned, we have one PDP now.
I'm concerned about something you said. You said that in passing on a number of occasions. You said at a point, a good number of PDP members, the high-ranking ones, had abandoned the party. Therefore, it was your national leader, Nyesom Wike, who took up the sponsorship and funding of the political party. That sounds dangerous, because we understand that even in America, where we borrowed this democracy from, is the members who fund parties, is the members who run parties. As a matter of fact, they have to pay their dues for the party purse to be replenished from time to time. So if you have a system where one man, by your own reckoning, Mr. Nyesom Wike, is one funding the party, it does not mean private ownership.
You have to understand the nature, the context of Nigerian politics. You understand? You see what is happening in the PDP. These major stakeholders. Ordinarily, you're not supposed to abandon your own party that brought you into governance, that made you what you are, made you as a governor, as a senator, and as a councillor, as a local government chairman, House of Assembly, and the rest. You see, majority of our members, majority of our politicians in Nigeria they are not in habit of contributing their dues. They do that during elections. When elections comes, okay, you have to pay your own dues. That is when they pay. And these critical stakeholders, when they abandon the party, and if you are patriotic about the party, and if you leave, you know you have some funding. If you refuse funding, what do you think will happen? The party will collapse. We have secretariat staff. Are we going to stop them? Are we not going to pay them salary? Go to all these political parties, Labour Party, APC, PDP. Go to PDP Wadata Plaza and see a number of staff who are working there. Qualified, effective, dedicated. You want to stop them?
So we cannot have a system that can make this happen, that can run the system, make funding available without one man taking over.
No, what we are saying is that we are still coming. You understand?
Right.
PDP as a political party has tried a lot. If you see how well structured the party is, it is because of, the contributions, the donations, the sacrifices the leaders have put in place previously. That is what makes us to be. Go to Legacy and go to Wadata Plaza. If you see people working there, you will appreciate. And if you go to other political parties, it's not like that. You understand? And we know in Nigeria, we need to understand, those things, particularly the issue of, party, funding of the party, membership contributions and what have you. We have to make it more serious. And these are the things that I believe we're going to champion it definitely beyond the convention of the PDP. Because I myself, I have observed that, and definitely there are others that observe. Because doing that, right, we are going to reposition the party to become better.
Incidentally, that's what we're going to leave this conversation, Dr. Kerry. But we understand that these are issues that are still evolving. For example, we understand that your party has quite a number of activities planned now. Given that 2027 is not as far away from here as it appears to be. But we'd like to say a big thank you to you for coming to share these thoughts with us. We've been talking with Dr. Grema Kerry. He's a member of the National Caretaker Committee of the weekend faction of the People's Democratic Party, even though some of them will argue that there is no faction of the party.
Faction now. It's only one PDP.
Right. You also contested for PDP chairmanship in Borno State. Yes, I want to say thank you to you. I'm Uyag Mofwebe. Thank you so very much, everyone, for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Grema Kerry, for your wheels and knowledge and experience on the program. I am Jubai Manson. Have an amazing day ahead. Bye-bye.